we talk about, we mention here the book of Sheikh Muhammad ibn Ibrahim ibn Abdullah al-Tuwaijri, مختصر الفقه الإسلامي, synopsis about the Islamic legislation in the light of the Quran and the guidance of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So here I just try to summarize what Sheikh mentioned about this issue. So Sheikh again refers something, he says that halal animals and birds. Sheikh Muhammad ibn Ibrahim al-Tuwaijri is talking about halal animals and halal birds. So he says that land animals are halal. Land animals are halal, with the exception of what will be mentioned. We'll mention it later. So all land animals are permissible. We'll talk about some exceptions. So all the land animals are permissible. It is permissible to eat livestock like camels, cattle, sheep. All these are permissible to eat. It is also permissible to eat wild donkeys. Okay, not domesticated. We said domesticated donkeys are not permissible to eat. It's permissible to eat lizard, cattle, gazelle, rabbits, giraffes. All these are permissible. Except there is exception. Sheikh will mention exception. Those animals who have fangs, they hunt with the fangs. So these animals are forbidden. So lions, tigers, cats, all these animals which have fangs, whether the fangs are big or small, as long as the animals have fangs and they use the fangs to catch other animals, so these are forbidden. But as long as the animal eat green, it's called herbivores in science, so it's halal. Now Sheikh talk about birds. Sheikh will talk about birds. That with the exception, the basic rule that all birds are halal, with the exception of some types of bird we'll talk about later. That all birds can be eaten, permissible. So chicken, ducks, geese, pigeons, ostriches, sparrow, nightingale, peacocks, all these are halal. Doves are halal to eat, except for some types of birds. They are not halal to eat. Now Sheikh will talk about sea animals. We said that some scholars have different opinion. So Sheikh is talking about sea animals. He says that all sea animals are permissible, but there is a condition. He says sea animal which live only in the sea, because there are some animals, they live partially in the sea, sometimes in the sea, and sometimes on the ground. Like what? Like crocodiles, like the frogs. They don't live completely in the sea. So these types of animals are excluded. We are not talking about frogs. We are not talking about crocodiles, because these types of animals, they live partially in the sea and partially on land. So here Sheikh is talking about animals, sea animals that completely live in the sea. So he says that all these types are halal as long as they are not poisonous. Now Sheikh talk about plants and fruits. All types of plants, all types of vegetables, fruits, grains are halal. So grains like what? Like rice, like wheat, vegetables like pumpkin, like cabbage, fruits like banana, oranges, grapes, all these are permissible. Now we talk about liquids. So all liquids are halal. Water, milk, honey, all are permissible. And of course, with the exception, we'll talk about later, we'll talk about prohibited drinks like alcohol. Of course, this is haram, of course. This is forbidden, and we'll give a specific time of talking about alcohol. By this, we come to the end of this part of the class. We'll come to the end of it, and we'll continue later, inshallah.